forgot I was using this mic. Sorry about that. All right. And we are back. Sorry, it's been such a long time since the last episode. We've just been busy. And let me get that music off there. Okay, great. Well, we're back here at Medieval Engineers today. I figured I'd play ME today because it's been a while. And last time I did a Crusader Kings video, and this time I felt like doing a Medieval Engineers video. Let me just get the microphone adjusted better here. My microphone is kind of a questionable setup. I always worry that I'm going to like topple over my entire computer, which is on a stand. Part of the displays are on a stand and the microphone's connected to the stand, and then I'm always worried that I'm going to like topple the whole thing over. So anyway, hopefully we don't have any technical glitches today. I'm always worried about that sort of thing. I did add one mod. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're loaded. I did add one mod since last time, and that would be the domes mod. I'm very excited to add domes into this. But yeah, essentially I figured let's just go ahead and jump in and start building. Now, I mean, there's so many things I could build. Let me wait a second for this texture to catch up with us here. Okay, there we go. So here's the blacksmith, obviously, and I've made progress. Is that field of vision? That field of view looks weird to me. I'm gonna go ahead and let me try that one. Yeah, that's a little better. Well, no. Maybe it's just because I'm used to playing. What have I've been playing a little Skyrim. Maybe it's just because it's a different look from that. Let me try closer to default here and see if that looks better for me. Kind of. I think it does. Anyway. So, the roof up here is coming along. I put some barrels up here. I don't think I showed you this, but I had this place all figured out, I thought. But then I decided I needed to redo this. So I went... excuse me. I went one in from this arch, because if this floor had been up at this arch, then there'd be this awkward gap here, and this arch has to have some reason to be open like this, so I moved it back, put a railing, put a pillar here for the roof support eventually. But yeah, this is the blacksmith. It's coming along nicely. I'm very pleased. And then, so we might work on that a little bit today. But a couple things I really do want to work on today, I think, are more stone-oriented builds. Now this is, let me show you what's going on with the tavern here. This is the tavern so far. And I ended up putting 2 doorways, and I'm not sure why or how to make that work. But I finished the floor. I put some tables in to give you an idea of what the flavor could look like once we get down to that point. We, of course, have our tavern dude here. And we can make things using ingots and whatnot. So we'll eventually populate our tavern. Here's going to be the underground storage. And in theory, this is going to be behind a bar of some sort. I'm not sure. Let me just kind of see what we have for options. Is there like a bar? Yeah, what's this one? So, bronze, so it's Tavern People. Why is it called Tavern People? That's a weird name, but then there's Bar 2. And let me see if it's in this guy here. We do have Tavern Bar, which is part of, okay, that's the one that costs 5 bronze. That's a lot of bronze. I'm not going to do that, but what about this one? Can I probably need to make a construction table here. Let's just see. This might, I mean, honestly, some of these might crash the game because it's notoriously unstable for when you're dealing with modded objects that it hasn't loaded in yet, and so we may have to. Let me. I'll just save a little bit extra. Is F5 quick save? No. Okay, F6. Forgot which one's quick save. Let me check that real quick. I've been playing some other games, and you lose track of the keys sometimes. Okay. Shift F5. Okay. I don't know if I even knew that. So let's give that a shot here. Okay, so I did quick save there. Okay, so let's go ahead and resume this and see if we can get something here. Alright, so I'm going to have to find it on the menu here. There are some really cool... Oh, I could use a brew crafting table in here too, couldn't I? Go ahead and craft one of those. And... yeah. Okay, so I'll craft one of those. I'm not sure whether I'm going to have sleeping aspects of this bar here. Ooh, that's a neat bed, but I'm going to have to come back to it. We have the market stall, but that's not quite what I'm going for. What's the mason? That looks interesting. So many of these things are just interesting. I want to check them out, but I'm also like terrified that if I do while I'm streaming, that it'll crash the game, and I think that would be bad for the, you know, for the stream. So I'm going to try to avoid experimenting with untested objects as much as I can. I hate that. That's kind of the... Oh, here we go. Okay, so that one I could do. Let's do one of those, and I kind of want to do one of these chests too. Okay, so that one crafted, and then the chest I need metal, and is that planks? Yeah. I guess I made a bookshelf, and I made this dinner plate too. That's interesting. Not sure if I can put that on the table or not. I think I might have tried to do that, and it might have crashed the game. So I'll have to come back and maybe I'll check that out off camera. Okay, so we've made a bar. You know, I'm not sure if this is going to be the most productive thing in the world for me to just do one little thing like this at a time, but where'd it go? Oh, I have a shit ton of barrels. How did that happen? I don't think I meant to make that many barrels, but I'm sure I'll use them. Okay, well, let's put the bar down. Okay, and that crashed the game, apparently. So, you know, we'll just reload it. And that's fine, you know. The thing with those objects like that is that they tend to crash the game, but only when you first put them in. So, in other words, an untested object has to, like, I don't know if it's like loading through the game process a little bit, or it, you know, just get kind of populated into the system so it's kind of stable, and then after that it tends to be fine. It's not usually a huge issue. So I don't know, maybe I'll come back and do that, or maybe I'll just work on the more generic things, and then I'll work on the special objects from mods off camera so that they don't cause the game to crash, because I know that if I get it stable off camera, then while I'm on camera it should be fine. I probably am pushing a little bit with the number of mods that I have. It's just the more mods you have, the more likely it is you have a problem somewhere in your setup. And so that's kind of what we're dealing with here. But generally speaking, not always, but generally once I've gotten the objects loaded in, they don't seem to have been the reason for crashing. There's a lot of reasons this game crashes. I mean, there's a RAM cap issue, which shouldn't be a problem for my system. I have a really good system. There are tons of issues with mods in general, that if a mod object is not designed properly, it might cause issues. And I think what happened here is this bug that I've noticed sort of anecdotally. I'm not sure if it's a widespread problem for other people, but for me, I've noticed it in single and multiplayer. The first time somebody loads in an object from a mod that the game's not really expecting, especially if there's like a bunch of objects already, the game gets a little, oh, what's this? Oh, crap, I have to crash, you know? But once it gets like, once you get a little bit of a callus built up to these new objects, then it seems fine. So I guess that's a bug. I don't know if that's something other people have experienced. If you've experienced that in your game, let me know in the comment section. I would love to know how other people deal with that particular experience. Now, hopefully, yeah, we saved it. We quick saved it right before, I think, before I even created those objects. So I guess the question is, should I try making another bar and putting that in and demonstrating what I'm talking about here? Or should I just avoid that altogether for the sake of the video? I think I'm going to try one more time. I think I'm going to just do the bar, though. So in other words, not deal with any of the other things that I was worried about. And I'm waiting on all this to load, obviously. Those are going to be my timber. Okay, there we go. Okay. I know it was down here somewhere. Here it is, okay. So craft that. Alright, let's try this again. And if it crashes, then we may have to go back to the drawing board. Okay. So as you can see, this time it didn't crash. Let me quick save it again. Now, if the quick saves end up, you know, saving something into the save file that's causing ongoing crashing, we can always just, you know, go back to the non-quick save. But I think I'd like to keep moving. So I think that, yeah, so as I mentioned, we previously tried to load that in, it crashed. Now it's in. I'm just sitting here, you know, jumping up and down, and it's not crashing. And it actually looks pretty reasonable as an object here. And so I might try to work on building up and around this, you know, because what you could do something like this. You could put like let's see what I got in my thing here. So you could go like this. Let's try a wooden wall. I could do a brick wall. That might look pretty cool, but we'll try one of each really. And then I usually go ahead and put my hammer in the first slot, no matter which of my control menus I'm working on. So let's. Ooh, that's pretty darn big. Do I have like a half wall? So what I could do is I could put something like this, and then I could put the bar up along where this wall would be. And actually, nah, I can't do that. That's not going to work here. What else? What other options do I have? Like, let me see, about half. Okay, I do have something like this I could use. Let's see about that. It appears I cannot move this up and down diagonally, so yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to be just kind of obtuse about this and just use. Oh, that's neat. What the hell is that? Okay. What the hell is? Oh, okay. I guess half of that's half timber, and the other half is wooden. That's not the object I was looking for. Gable. Interesting. This, I believe, is the wall I was looking for. So anyway, this one. What I could do is I could build out a little thing like this. You know, I just don't think that's gonna look good if I built like a little wall structure like this. And then put the bar to separate there. I just think that would look closed and not good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to settle for a more open design. I'm going to go with maybe some of these wooden delios. Probably need to put some down here for support. I don't even think I even have to build these in. I love the fact that the only NPC in the game is the tavern guy, or you know, like there's like 3 of them. We got the fisher guy, the tavern guy, and the soldiers, basically. Speaking of soldiers, did I just hear a crossbow go off? I think I might have. Right, let's I'm just like so paranoid about the game crashing, so I'm quick saving a lot. But okay, so that. Sorry about that. Like, I think my cat or something got scared and jumped off the couch, and it made a weird sound, and I didn't really interpret it very well because of my headphones, so I don't know what that was, but everything seems to be in order. Okay, so now we've got like these 2 support columns that can go up. I think we probably want to go up 1 more on this wall here. By the way, these walls are going to be painted probably orange or yellow or something. We experimented with that the other day. And I think I left the one that I wanted in, which is this orangish color, so I think that's going to look really nice. But I do think we should go up 1 more. And the question is, how am I going to jetty this building, you know? There's really 2 options for jetting. By jetting, I mean sticking a wall out beyond where it is on you know, from one level to the next. So if this is the exterior wall, this is obviously just for example. The sort of conservative jettying would look like this. We would go like that. And that. Okay? So you got our normal wall, and then it sticks out just a hair by having this outside wall built. And so you get a jetty of, you know, maybe a foot or less. Now the other way, to jetty is something we experimented with the warehouse, and that's to do hoardings. You know, so we would, let's see here. So I'll just put it here, and sorry, I had the crossbow guy shot somebody. Oh, well, he almost got to me. Good shot, crossbow guy. Okay. So anyway, back to what I was doing, and I just want, like, or let's do this for simplicity. So, what we would do for this more extreme version of jetting, I guess we'll face it this way. I didn't realize I was in that section. Okay, and so we got the little outside thingy, and we would put that right there. And as you can see, rather than just have a little nip, a little deal there, we have this whole big production that comes way out, and it even has these things. Now, an alternative to this, even still, I'll just get right next to it, would be, we don't even necessarily need this hoarding thing. We can do a straight balcony floor. Here, watch this. This is something that I don't think I even put in yet. Do a balcony floor and balcony with roof. That's neat. Big wheat ball. I don't know what the hell that is. We have to experiment with that later. But, so if we do 7 here... And we need planks on that one. Probably should move this, crafting table, huh? But anyway, I'll just grab a few planks here. Alright, so, this one looks even more, dare I say, realistic. And it fits right in with the hoarding design there. Need more planks, okay. So one, as you can see, the regular hoarding. These are identical, these two roofs, basically. This one has an extra support there, this one is open. But they're otherwise identical. And in fact, this one just cuts off. And I think that's a mod. I think this is a mod. But you can see the difference with the support beam coming diagonally versus these, which, you know, structurally this is just fine because the pressure on this would be in here from the gravity of the main part of the building. So this would be easily supportable without the diagonal. So it's just whatever looks better. Those are really the 3 options for jettying, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet. And I think the answer should be if it's an open area where there's not a lot of buildings right next to it, maybe go with the more extreme jettying. If it's tight, spaced, and skinny corridors, use the more conservative one. So we'll have to figure that out as we go. Let me show you another couple things real quick. Things that I've been working on off camera a little bit that I haven't shown you. So we're working on the docks. I'm not sure that I've shown you this, but the docks have been... Ooh, there's a goodie bag. Must have been another dead barbarian. But anyway, where's his weapon? I don't know. So I made the docks, and I don't quite know what I'm going to do here yet. I'll probably do some sort of patio with the stairs coming down, but not entirely sure. That's the tavern, so I kind of want there to be like an outdoor patio that leads right to the docks, you know, kind of like a modern coastline thing. We're getting a lot of barbarians. Okay, so this is the off-grid diagonal part of the dock here, which is pretty cool. Does that water look better, or is it just me? I know it's dark out, so I apologize for that. Okay, and this barbarian's trying to kill my town square. He is getting attacked. Okay. Got the autosave coming in there, that's nice. Hopefully this thing undamaged. Looks good to me, okay. So, anyway, I did put a couple of little decorations here. I have a little table with some food. I have the Burn at the Stake lady, which is a mod. I have the Hanged Engineer mod. This is like the town square, so I figured this is where the execution would be. I went ahead and threw a couple market stands down. These are decorative. I don't know if they can... I think you can... Yeah, you can put things in them, but I don't... Oh, you can craft things. Huh. Oh, that's neat. You can craft different food types there. Town square sign, obviously. We got the trader back up and running. The well is still doing pretty good. Let me get these. Need to figure this out a little bit better with that voxel painting. It still looks nice. It's just that there's clearly dirt still. Oh, did the barbarians get to this? Looks like the barbarians might have even gotten to that little timber there or something. Everything else seems to be intact, and this water looks like crap, but that's okay. Looks better than nothing. And then what I did was I went ahead and I bit the bullet and I imported a couple of these buildings from my other town from the previous LP. just to kind of get some buildings up. So we have this thing, which is that half-timbered house we built in the other game. Not a lot in here right now, it's just kind of an open house. It's weird that there's only one that's ready for berries there. These berries grow back nicely. We have this little guy, which was kind of at the top of the hill near the mine. This little campfire and some chairs and whatnot. And we have to build paths and things and get these all pretty up. Then we have this building, which was kind of that neat little stone building with the little overhang. And it does have storage, so I've got some of the stuff from my other game that actually came along with it, including a smithy, which is really nice. I might have to go put that over at where the forge is. But, put clay in there or something. And we got a corn there, and then the thatched roof on top. So that's kind of nice. And then obviously if you come over here, it's got that little thing that comes out, and I think that looks nice from the sea. Yeah, I think that looks fine. We may continue building the shoreline stuff along there. We probably need a support here. Make that look better. Okay, and then we have our bakery and stuff in here. So, you know, I feel pretty good about where we're at. I did also go through and claim all these properties and made a road. I'm not sure if I showed you that yet. This road basically goes like this. And it goes over here, and then it connects with the world road. And then, you know, comes down here. I need to claim these properties too. But it's coming along nicely. Here's a little crashed boat. Okay, so a couple things I want to do. I kind of want to build a mill, and I kind of don't want to use the one that we had in our other game. So in other words, I don't want to copy and paste it in, even though that would save me a ton of time, and I would be justified in doing so. But I think I'd like to build it from scratch. Because I wasn't necessarily satisfied with how that one turned out. So maybe we should just start that today, and we can work on some of the other buildings as well. The thing with the mill, and I don't even know if they had mills in Venice, windmills. Probably had water wheels in the canals, which I think we can do something like that. I think I have a mod. But the real question is, if I was gonna build a mill, where would I build it? And I think the answer is, I want it close to the market, and I kind of want it close to the castle too. Let me show you why. Alright, I'm gonna pull up a castle plan here. Now this is the Conway Castle in northern Wales, and as you can see, the town, the village that this castle was next to, I guess is connected to this wall over here. And this is kind of the inner part of the castle, I guess. So this is the farthest defended area. The town would be out here. And so they had the bakery here and the granary here. And it makes sense that you'd have that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if they had a mill. Let me see if there's a Venetian windmill. Yes, there are. There are these round windmills. But I'm not sure if they're in Venice directly or on the shoreline. Makes sense that they'd be on the shoreline, I guess. Let me try pulling up a map of medieval Venice and seeing if there's any suggestion of a mill. Not sure. Boy, that's a really cool map. That doesn't really tell me what I'm looking for though, because that's like modern. This is maybe Renaissance or medieval Venice here. And this is Pinterest, so it's not going to let me look at it. Okay. I don't see anything that stands out on that map. How about this one? No, don't see it. It's a cool map, but I don't see anything that looks like a mill. Alright, well, I think what I'm going to do is disregard that entirely and just make a executive decision here. So, hopefully the sun rises soon. But we could put a mill in the castle. Here's our two options. Maybe we can do both. Put a mill right outside the castle. Let's see if I can get up there real quick. So here's our castle so far, basically. We have a drawbridge. Which is pretty cool, and I really do like this entrance a lot. I'm very pleased with this. We even have the water down there, which looks terrible at night. We have these matriculations that could be used for murder holes or shooting the enemy. And then it comes right over to what's going to be this round tower here. Need to go ahead and put this, actually, I'm going to just use a regular doorway there, aren't I? Okay, so, I don't know, I don't know why I'm getting distracted here, but, just indulge me real quick. I don't know if I want all these to be arrow slits. Oh, they're not even arrow slits. They're with shutters. Okay, it looks like the sun might be about to rise. There we go, arrow slit. Let me just maybe do one for now. So just give the impression of a tower that's going to be here. So, you know, eventually this will be a nice, you know, 6-block high tower or something. And this will go all the way around this raised area on this island. Probably, maybe go diagonal here for a little bit. Maybe have a raised section up here for the actual keep. And then, but the point is, you know, we could put a mill in there. We just don't know enough about where everything's going to be. So I think for now, the best thing to do is just go ahead and put a mill right on the outside of the building, right on the outside of the castle. Maybe even like right about here. And build it right into the side of the wall of the castle. Yeah, the problem with that, let me show you this other idea here. Problem with that is that if the mill is right inside the castle, you could use it to hop the wall. So let me pull up an idea from computer games. This is Stronghold 2. Great game. I have a playthrough of this as well. This one they put 3 mills in the outer wards. This is the inner ward, the outer ward, which is a good place for them probably. But not directly attached to the wall. Let me actually... Let me try another one. This is from the original Stronghold game. really hard to see where the mills are. And this one, they're over here, so similar design. This is kind of unrealistic, but yeah, I don't know. This appears to be an expansion of Stronghold too. That's something I don't even think I had back in the day. But anyway, the point is, let me just Google it. Okay, so I mean, obviously most mills were out in the countryside. This one is right on the edge of the castle here. Medieval times. I'm just gonna have to stop relying on the internet here. I think what I'm gonna do is make a standalone building that's not leaning up against the wall, or at least not in any way that would allow somebody to access the wall from the mill, and put it right about here. So let's start that. Let's just make some cubes. Alright, so it's gonna have to be right about here. We may have to build a little stairway up to it, but let's kind of commit to this, I think. Hopefully I have enough stone to get this going, this project. And it's right next to the well, which I think is pretty reasonable. Okay, so that's nice and sturdy and doesn't interfere with the well at all, so that's good. Okay, so then I think if I just start building my mill components, probably gonna have to terraform this a little bit. Don't want to get crazy with it though. Okay. And I might have to do a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty good. Okay. And so the question is, how do I access it from down here? And I think the answer might be right through here. So if I put stairs going down, perhaps. Somehow I have sandstone stairs, but I don't have regular stairs here. Okay, so I'll put these here. This fucking bamboo is everywhere. I hate it. Kind of regret having that mod, because I don't really think I'm going to use it that much, but we'll see. What I could do, well, I could throw the bamboo away, but it's going to take forever to disappear, so. Okay. So now the question is, how are we going to set this up? And as usual, the best thing to do with the windmill is to set up the mechanics before you do the outer wall. And in fact, we may have to do an outer wall that sticks out beyond the outside of this foundation, which I think we had to do in the last town. So let's do the mechanical grist mill. Okay, so this guy. Can go like right about. Maybe I should put it right about there. Here's what I'm thinking. A little unconventional design here, but what if, where is it it's gonna get its energy from, where? From the top, isn't it? So in other words, there'll be a device here that connects, and it might go over here, and then maybe I'll have another component over there, and then connecting in the middle going up. So, and I'm going to need a lot more resources to make this. Start with the crafting table. But let me we're gonna need linseed oil, millstone. Let me just come down here and buy some. I do have some money. $2 and 10 pennies. Okay. So that should be enough for 4 orders of linseed oil. Of course, I can't find the pennies now. Oh, I didn't even take them out of here. Okay. Probably should just leave some of this extra money in here. I'll throw a couple nobles in there and put all that in there. Okay. So going down here, I'm gonna grab. How many of these do I get? I get 5 of those. Okay, so let's do 2 orders of that. That'll take a minute. That's fine. And I could do the 4 windmill blades too. Oh, I guess I only need to do it once. Okay. So that'll be pretty good for me. And then what about like mechanical parts? Probably need some of those. Metal parts, I mean. Okay, so how many do I get with that? 150. Wow. Okay, but I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so that'll give me, you know, 80% of what I need probably. Alright, let's go back up here. One design flaw of this is that if this mill were to ever leak material down into the well, it'd be bad. Like I did before, I'm going to go ahead and not do the ore crusher in here for now. Reason being is that I'm going to do a second windmill at some point that will handle that. Okay, so this is sawmill is going to have to go somewhere. I guess right there is probably about as good as anywhere. Okay, so this one, oh, this is backwards. Okay, so that's good, and then this one. Okay, so that's gonna make a bunch of timber there. And is that backwards, or is that how I want it? Not sure. I think the point is that the mechanical input is here, and that's the important part. So, and for this one, the mechanical input is above. So now what we need is one that turns upwards, and then we'll have a split. So, going to the mechanical blocks, we'll find the joint up is what we want. This one here. Now we could just put it in like that, but we usually do the framed version. It's stable, more stable. And I could, if I really wanted to be ambitious, I could do a split down here, and then save. Oh, you know what I could do? I'm thinking that, like, maybe there's a way I can trigger which device is currently powered. Okay, so that one's there. If I do this one like here, for example. And then I could put the ore crusher. Maybe I'm getting too fancy here. Ore crusher could go like here. Then I could have a block that toggles which thing is active. Alright, let me check on that linseed oil. Alright, we got some linseed oil making the windmill blades. Now we're going to need those metal parts soon as well. But this should get us at least enough to craft some of these things. Okay, well, let me craft that without the metal blocks. Okay, so that's fine. And the millstone, okay, well, I think we can do a millstone. Oh, you know, it wanted the other type. It wanted the, this thing. That's okay, we'll still use that other one. Okay, so this one I've got all the ingredients for now. And then we can go ahead and put this in there for now. Okay. And then this one needs metal parts and linseed oil. Let's go see how the trades are coming here. Probably just have the windmill blade now. Now it's just a question of those mechanical parts. That's going to be a minute, it looks like. So let's go up here and figure the next step out. Okay. So Well, it's hard to figure out until we know what the mechanical input is for that one. What I can do, perhaps, is put a ladder in. I'm going to use ship's ladders very extensively while I'm doing this. Ship's ladders are perhaps the most useful tool ever modded in this game. Okay, so there's an input here, and there's an input down there. And then there's going to be an input, I suspect, along here, on this side, hopefully. If I've done it right, which means I think I can put something like this here, and no, not quite like that. So the switch is on that side, you see it? And it controls which side gets mechanical energy, and the problem with it is, I guess it has outputs on either side, so yeah, I think that's going to work. Let me just get it positioned. Okay, so it goes right there. And then if I need metal parts obviously, but once I get the metal parts, I think that'll actually work, assuming this lines up how I want it to. And then we just pull the switch. I'm gonna have to move this, it turns out, but I can move this over to the corner or something. Okay, so I'll figure out the grist mill in a second, but let's get the metal parts because we need those to proceed. Perfect. May need some more linseed oil if I don't use these efficiently. Okay. Yeah, I was worried about that. Okay, so this is on the that's gonna be the wrong side. I'm gonna have to switch these up, just because this thing is like naturally gonna want to face that direction. So you see where that rectangular block is on the side? That needs to attach to your input. So that's gonna work just fine right here. Okay. So not entirely sure what's going on here. Maybe I need to expand this platform and add a joint or something. Okay, so now what I think I've got is I've got this thing connected to this thing and this thing also connected to this thing. The problem is I don't see any I don't see what I'm looking for. It is morning, so that's a good sign. Okay, so what's going on down here? Maybe if I rebuild this thing from scratch. See, those red shafts should line up how I want them to. Maybe I had it backwards. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm losing linseed oil because I'm being inefficient with some of this. Maybe I need to tell you what I could do. Let me try getting rid of this. Alright. I don't understand why there's not a thing coming out there, but if I did this, just kind of extend it over here. Is that connect? Is that going to recognize that? I just don't understand. So it appeared to be a log coming out the back there, but it doesn't appear to be logs going out the sides. And I can't activate or toggle anything here. So there's a 1 and a 0 here. Nothing there. Nothing there. And then there's this on top, which isn't even, like, it's sealed off. So this one I definitely want, because this one is going to send mechanical energy down and over at the same time. So in other words, the windmill is going to come down, the power from the windmill. It's going to send energy off to this way and then down as well. Okay, so that should make that connect to this. But it doesn't appear to be having that effect. I might have to look this up off camera. Let me try this one more time. Okay, I'm gonna do this off camera because I just can't figure it out on camera, and I'm losing my linseed oil. I've just lost 8 linseed oil, which is not cool. But okay, you get the idea. That's where we're gonna build our mill. Okay. Tell you what. Gonna need another batch of that. Okay. So I guess to finish out today's episode, let's just work on finalizing some of the stuff we're already working on. Oh, I was like, what the hell is all this? It's my example walls. Okay, so let's just work on the tavern. I think that's the way to go here. So... Alright. Zoomed out. Question is, how tightly packed are the buildings in this area going to be? My guess is not tightly packed enough to justify using the skimpy hoarding, so let's do... Tell you what, I think for the front we'll do the hoardings sticking out, but on the side we might do the skimpier version. I think that's a good compromise. So what we're going to do then, therefore... We're going to go up here. And... Do I want the support one or the... Let's do the non-support one. Well, this needs to be on the outside, and it wants to go on the inside. That could be a problem. Well, we're gonna have to figure out how to get this to lock where we want it to. Alright, well... Maybe we do have to do the number 5. You know, I guess maybe if I just built something, and then maybe that will allow me to do what I want to do here. Okay. So let me try number 7 again. Do I have to do this first? Maybe I need to do the poor man's jettying first. Like that. And then can I do it? 5? And I can do that one. 7. This one down below. There we go, that's what I want. Man, that took some manipulation, didn't it? So the real question I have is that going to stay if I get rid of this one? Yes. Okay, so that's the basic idea here, and what I probably want to do first before I build those roof sections is I want to get this nice and stable all the way across. And so what I think I need to do probably is figure out how I'm going to do that. And maybe it involves this. So in other words, putting a wall or a balcony along the interior as well for stability. And I definitely need a wall here. And we're doing the half timbered, so what do we do diagonals or let me check what our design is. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think it's gonna look good. Okay, so if we're going with the diagonals, I'll have to match those as we go. So here, you know, we have the diagonal coming up the corner, so we need to do number 6 and make sure that it's Well, let me just try placing it in there, hoping that it stays. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, so, and then what's going to happen there... This guy right here. Problem is there an end? Wait. But it has to stick out a little. Because the difference is these ones have these, the end pieces that are separate. So I may have to cheat and use one of these. Let's try this one. Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then, the number 8, right there. Tell you what, let's figure that out after we swap game. Okay. So, let's try number 8 balcony. This line properly right there. Perfect. Now, oh, and by the way, is this going to be a tile roof or a wood roof? Tile would look good, but it is more expensive. I suppose we can always replace it later if we don't like it. I'm gonna go with wood roof, but we may replace it later. We simply don't have a lot of resources right now, so I just don't want to be so bogged down by that shortcoming. Okay, now that that's in, let's see if I can get this. Can't seem to get that to snap. Okay, so I guess the option could be, for this one anyway, we may have to settle for this compromise. On the edge, we'll have to use our full hoarding, which is more compatible with number 9. Come on, game. I guess this one has to go on the outside. Okay, I remember now. Okay, so going back to number 8, so I like that one better. Ha! Stick with that. And then this number 9. Where I want it to get left. Up against the outside. Okay, let's try this again. So it has to be on the outside. There we go. That's what I want, right there. Still slightly worried about the structural integrity of these balconies. I'm gonna run out of planks here in a second. Might just have barely enough. Okay, yeah, just barely enough there. Okay, and then, oh, I need planks for that, sure. So I'll let those turn into planks real quick. A little snack while we're waiting. And go ahead and put one in. I wonder if, well, it's coastal, so I was gonna say normally I don't think an inn would like to be so exposed to elements like this one is, but it's coastal. I could close those in by using hoardings instead of balconies, but I really like this balcony look, so I'm gonna try it. But yeah, Medieval Engineers, the update is good. I must say it's getting a little stale. I mean, in the sense that there's nothing new since then, and it's been like a month or something. Also, they had that, I don't know how much I talked about this last time, but they had that update where it just completely killed the frame rates of everybody, and it was like a patch of this particular 6.4 update. And I don't know if I talked about this, but I had that one episode that was really laggy, and I fixed the lag, well, I had to wait until they patched it, and then we downloaded the fixed version, and it was fine. I guess they had some corrupt models or something. Alright, let me get this one from the outside. Then we'll take a look at how she looks. Okay. Let me get rid of these. Probably could have used these as planks instead. That's okay, you can never have too many. Okay. How does that look? That looks terrible. That looks absolutely awful. I'm not going to give up on it yet, though. I'm just very disappointed at how that turned out. Yeah, that looks hideous. I think it would look a lot better if I just went with the hoardings. Actually, what if I did these ones? I've never used wooden hoardings before. I mean, so you have the option of these ones, or you have these log ones. I get it says log hoardings or wooden hoardings. What is that? I guess that's the stone with the adapters for the hoardings, which is really interesting. I didn't know they did that. But I think what I'm gonna do, I think the thing that it makes the most sense to do is replace them with regular wood hoardings. Not the log hoardings, but we could try one of each. And I want to try the closed ones. So let's try that. I'm going to keep that balcony though and see if that works. And I guess I'll try one of these. Let's try one of each. This backwards. Alright, and then number 8. Backwards again. Hard to see what you're doing when you have to tilt down to get the snap. Okay, let's see how these look. Are there any other options? We did one of those, and one of those. I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay. Okay, so which one of these looks the best? Honestly, I mean, it's between the third and fourth one there, the tile one and the wood roof with the closed. And honestly, it's the tile one. So let's just make that decision. Even though it's more expensive, it's gonna look better. That flat one looks like crap on this building. I think it could look good on other buildings, but it looks like crap on this one right here. It looks terrible. Oh. Well, we lost this little chunk there. That's okay. I need to move this frickin' table. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, but... Okay. So... we decided to go with number 6. So I'll just put these in all the way. We may not have enough, roof tiles. No, it looks like we're gonna have plenty of roof tiles, actually. I have no idea how. Boy, those land claim blocks along there look really nice with the road in there, don't they? It's gonna be a nice build when it's finished. Oh, we did it again. That's okay. Okay, so... let's try this. And then we'll use this one instead for the outside. It's okay. But we'll, let's take a look first. Okay. That looks much more reasonable. The other thing that we could consider doing, since we are in a somewhat tropical zone, is not having the sloped roof at all. Problem is, we'd have to do like a stucco. We do the half timbered and then a flat roof, and frankly, that'd probably be okay. I don't think we saw that in Venice that much. Like, I think in Venice they still had pretty much regular roofs. Here. No, I'm wrong. Mostly, well, no, they had small, shallow sloped roofs. So they all have roofs, they're not very steep. They don't need to be. Yeah, they all have roofs. They're just very... And they're all tile, so, I mean, for what it's worth. I mean, I know most of the modern Venice buildings are much later in time from the Middle Ages, but, yeah, they all have tiles, and they all have roofs, and they're sloped. Okay. Good to know. I'm not opposed to building a non-sloped roof. I just don't think we're going to get to it in this. Or at least not for a little while, so... Okay, so if I was going to do... I don't know why that's not taken. Maybe I'm too far away. Maybe I need to build this in. So let's get some of these walls built up. It'd be nice to get the second story done as kind of a goal for this episode. We're just alternating these little deals, and that should work out just fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then this one. Oh. Okay, let's put that one in. Oh. Okay, so that's that. I probably need some stairs there. But, oh, we have a little bit of an inconsistency here. So this one we should probably fix. Not that I have to do it right now, per se. But, might as well. And the nice thing is this wall paint is still there. See how it's all yellow? The paint is still there, so I don't even have to screw with that. Go. Problem solved. Okay, so now that's all consistent. Okay. And once I make that all orange, it'll look nice. Okay, and then it will be orange with the red tiles. And go ahead and put these in again. Get the other one. Damage to our ground there. Hopefully that heals. I think that heals over time. Hello? I'm kind of sure why that's not building in. Maybe it needs a wall. Fine, I'll go over and we'll put a wall up there. Okay. And I don't mind having the little ledge up there either. I mean, I could put like barrels up there. Hell, I could put a thing, one of these going along there, and put railings up there and make it a little balcony for people to stand on and drink. But let's try to get this the 9 in before we forget about it. There we go. So, for example, I could just keep this going along here. To make this whole back section to be actual floor. It's actually a second story here. May want to augment this little pillar. Go with one adjacent to it. There. So why I can't. And perfect, perfect. Okay, and we're out of planks again, but I'll finish that later. Okay, so that's kind of the idea, and maybe this will go right over to that pillar. And then I'll keep the rest open. I think that'll look good, because from down here, what you get is you get this little tucked in area over here. So you can have a little table, it feels nice and cozy. And yet there'll be this upper level where people can go drink, and there'll be railings and stuff. Maybe I'll continue this along here. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure yet. But this is coming along nicely, so I'm very pleased. Probably want a couple windows. Let's do a couple windows on the back here. And then the rest of them will just be the regular diagonal crisscross thing. Doesn't matter, but please do. That's backwards. Maybe I should put one window up here as well. Okay, that's perfect, and then this one is... Okay, so I'll rotate this one. Already built some of these in, I guess. The game doesn't like me placing it here. Makes absolutely no sense. Is that the right orientation? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, very good. It's like the game knew that I had to flip it first. Okay. Not sure if that's true or not, but I'll go with it. Okay, and then let's build some more planks. Just have that section done. And while that's going, I just need to finish these. Hold on here. Maybe I should put a staircase, like a legit stairs, somewhere. Maybe even over here. Do the opposite of that one. Then I'll have to figure out the railings on that section at some point. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, that's not the right one. Okay, and so that's the basic second story of our tavern. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do for the next part of it, but I think that's going to be just fine. I think that's going to look just fine right where it is, and once I get it painted, it's going to look really cool. I really like how this dock section has turned out. I had to use these diagonals here, and boy, this looks fun. This looks beautiful. This water mod is really cool. Still could use a little work underground, under the sea. And obviously, if you go mining under sea level, you're gonna get flooded. So just careful with that. But I really like this diagonal dock I built here. I'm gonna have to start building actual wharfs at some point, and I'm not quite sure the best way to do that. You have to stick it out like that. Problem is, you know, I'd have to kind of be thoughtful about where boats are going to dock, because, and what I'm really pleased about that I did was over here, I put this little arch in there. Isn't that cool? I think that's really cool. This dock feels like a dock, you know? Got the fisher guy. And that's going to look really cool once I get it done and get the patio figured out, which I'm still gonna have to figure out. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it. It's been about an hour and a half, and it's been a good long episode, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it. And we do have a barbarian, so maybe I'll deal with him. Not sure why I have fruit salad in my weapon arm. Oh, and he's gone. Okay, so anyway. I'm gonna kick him into the ocean. There we go. Alright, well, let's wraps up with him. The warehouse looks so good. I'm in love with my warehouse. I think I did a great job on that. And the tavern's gonna look cool too. I just don't know what I'm gonna do for a roof for the rest of it. Maybe one up. Maybe I'll do the shallow roof Keep it nice and shallow. That might be the way to go. We'll figure it out, but the town is coming along nicely. And we're gonna have to work on the castle maybe next time a little bit more. I love this cobblestone. This water looks good. The little fountain looks nice. The little pig. Trading stand, our little market. We're gonna have to find people to stand there. We may have to reuse some of the same models for our NPCs. It's gonna get old really fast, but we may have to do it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be doing more regular episodes again with more consistency. Don't worry. But look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buildings now. They're not all done, but you know they're coming along. So I'm very pleased with this. Very, very pleased. We'll see you next time on Medieval Engineering.